You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Angela Meyer stops by the studio to talk about a cocktail class being hosted by the Miners Hall Museum.
Looking forward to that. Also, you voted to make your voice heard, and now it's time to see those midterm election results.
And we're going to have a look at your forecast as we've got some big changes on the way. We're talking storms, we're talking cold temperatures. We're going to talk about all of it coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. On the ballot this midterm election day, local, state, and federal positions. Statewide issues include a proposal to legalize recreational marijuana in Missouri and a proposal to shift the balance of power between Kansas lawmakers and the governor. We start with the Kansas governor's race, where Democratic Governor Laura Kelly is seeking re-election against the current Attorney General Derek Schmidt. Now, Kelly was the only Democratic governor running for re-election this year in a state carried by former President Donald Trump in 2020. This race was a close one, but Kelly wins her bid for re-election. Associated Press projects Republican U.S. Senator Jerry Moran winning re-election, defeating Democratic challenger Mark Holland. And in the race for Kansas Attorney General, former Republican Secretary of State Chris Kobach defeated his Democratic opponent, Chris Mann. In the Kansas 2nd District congressional race, Republican incumbent Jake LaTurner defeated his Democratic challenger Patrick Schmidt. And Missouri's U.S. Senate race, Republican Attorney General Eric Schmidt defeats Democrat Trudy Busch Valentine. In the U.S. House race for Missouri District 4, former Kansas City News anchor Republican Mark Alford defeats Democrat Jack Truman. And in the race for Missouri's 7th District seat formerly held by Billy Long, Republican Eric Burleson defeats the Democratic candidate Kristen Radiker Schaefer. Now, Missouri voters considered some state questions. The big one is the constitutional amendment to allow recreational marijuana for people over the age of 21. Over 53% of Missouri voters voted to approve recreational marijuana for the state. Now, another Missouri amendment would make the state National Guard its own department, and 60% of the state voted approving the National Guard as its own department. In Oklahoma, incumbent Republican Governor Kevin Stitt wins a re-election over Democratic candidate and educator Joy Hoffmeister. And 2 U.S. Senate races appeared on Oklahoma ballots as well. In one, incumbent Senator Republican James Lankford defeats Democratic challenger Madison Horn. Oklahoma's other U.S. Senate race was a special election to fill the rest of the term of retiring Republican Jim Imhoff. Both major party candidates are currently serving in the U.S. House. Republican Mark Wayne Mullen defeats Democrat Kendra Horn. And in the race for Mullen's District 2 House seat in Oklahoma, Republican Josh Brechen defeats Democrat Naomi Andrews. In Oklahoma's District 7 congressional race, Republican Steve Bashore defeats Republican Jason Spence. Well, Kansas voters also considered constitutional amendments. Question 1 would allow the legislature to suspend or revoke rules made by executive branches. And as you can see, this one failed. Also on the Kansas ballots, an amendment to preserve the rights of citizens to elect county sheriffs. As you can see, this one did indeed pass. Here's more results from elections impacting you.
All right, a lot of election results for you, and of course you can find all of them at KOAMnewsnow.com. And we're going to take a look at what happened on this day in weather history. Back in 1926, an F4 tornado struck a school in La Plata, Maryland, killing 14 students and faculty. It was the deadliest tornado in Maryland history. Skywatch Storm Tracker clear for us right now. Our next weather maker out to the west, and it'll be here by tomorrow afternoon. We can see that on the future track. We may have an isolated shower or two today. It's a pretty low chance most of us going to stay dry. We'll have partly mostly cloudy skies and be pretty mild. By tomorrow morning, cold front knocking on our back door, and as it rolls into the area, we'll get a good line of showers and thunderstorms across southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and that line will continue to move on off to the east, and by 8, we're in southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, and exiting southeast Kansas. Late tonight and early tomorrow morning, we may get another little round of some showers and maybe a rumble of thunder out of this as well, but it also really affects our temperatures. There's a low end risk for some strong storms tomorrow if you're in the green. It's a pretty low risk, but if we did see any stronger storms, wind and hail are the primary threats, and we're looking somewhere between 4 and 11 for this. Beautiful sunrise. Look at that at 7th and Range Line this morning. A few more clouds out there. Partly cloudy and 64 in Joplin. Wind starting to pick up now at 13 miles an hour. 64 Neoda, Shea, Parsons, 61 Pittsburgh, and 59 in Carthage. As we go through today, again, a stray shower possible. Most of us dry. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, mild and 76, and mild tonight. Clouds start to clear out early tomorrow morning, 63 for your overnight low tonight. And once that cold front gets through tomorrow, we are 72, dropping to 36. We're in the 40s Friday and Saturday with lows in the 20s, 50 Sunday and Monday, lows about freezing. And then we may see a stray shower or two Monday evening that could translate into a few early morning flurries by Tuesday, and we'll have a high of 42 degrees.
All right, well, up next, why you should not take medical advice from sites like TikTok or YouTube.
And later, the hit show The Crown takes viewers into the 1990s, which was a turbulent time for the British royal family. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Before we head to break, here's another live look from Webb City. In Health Watch this morning, how air pollution during pregnancy can impact children later and why social media should not replace a trip to the doctor. Naomi Ruckham has a look at some of today's top health stories.
Millions turn to social media for medical advice, but a new study finds those YouTube and TikTok clips do not give accurate information on prostate cancer. Researchers from Albert Einstein College of Medicine looked at the top 50 videos that popped up when searching the term prostate cancer screening. They found 98% of the YouTube videos and all of the TikTok videos had only low to moderate levels of quality health information. A vast majority also had significant amounts of misinformation. Young people remain at very low risk of dying from COVID-19, according to a new study out of the UK. Researchers also found that fatal cases of COVID in children were often linked to underlying conditions. Study authors looked at everyone younger than 20 who died of COVID in England between March 2020 and December 2021. 75% had pre-existing health issues, including neurodisabilities and weakened immune systems. And air pollution during pregnancy can lead to delays in a child's development. A recent study out of Taiwan examined nearly 18,000 infants. Those born to mothers who had exposure to tiny particles of pollution were more likely to have delays in gross motor, fine motor, and social development skills. The authors believe exposure before birth may have an even more significant impact than exposure after a child is born. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Skywatch Storm Tracker clear on the local level for the time being. We are watching this system out to our west. It's bringing snow to Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and some rain to Arizona. Thankfully, it's not going to bring a ton of snow to us by any means. It's just going to bring us some showers and thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. We've been talking about a stray shower or two possible today. I want to stress the fact that it's going to be a very isolated stray shower, so don't anticipate a lot of rain today. It's tomorrow. So by tomorrow morning, The cold front knocking on our door. By tomorrow evening, a line of showers and thunderstorms begins to develop across southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, rolls on off to the east, bringing showers and thunderstorms to southwest Missouri, back through northeast Oklahoma. And it's kind of slow to move out. As you can see, we could still have some ongoing shower and thunderstorm activity by 11:30 tomorrow night. We get a brief break and then another little batch of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder tries to get going very early tomorrow morning. Once it clears out, do you see those temperatures? Yeah, it's going to get cold. We'll talk about that too. With tomorrow's storms, we do have a low-end risk of some stronger storms out there. It's a pretty low risk, but nonetheless, it is there. If we see any stronger storms, wind and hail are the primary threats, and we're looking at from 4 to 11 tomorrow evening. Beautiful sunrise at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. A few more clouds out there. Partly cloudy, wind picking up south-southeast at 13 miles an hour. Could be gusting to 25 later today. Keep that in mind. 64 Neodesha, 65 in Chanute, which is just crazy. 58 Lamar and 59 in Carthage. And as we go through today, a very crazy day temperature-wise. Partly to mostly cloudy, stray shower possible, 76. And heading into tonight, we stay mild. Clouds start clearing out early tomorrow morning, and we drop back down to a low of 63 degrees. And on the 7-day forecast, 72 tomorrow. Temperatures drop to the 30s, 40s Friday and Saturday with lows in the 20s. 50 Sunday and Monday, lows around freezing. And we could see some showers Monday night, and because of how cold it's going to get, that could turn into a stray flurry or two by early Tuesday morning, and we're only 42 on Tuesday. We're going to be back with more of the KOAM Morning News, but first, here's another live look at the praying hands on this beautiful Wednesday morning.
Welcome back. Well, we've got the holidays around the corner, and if you're going to be entertaining, you need to know how to make a good cocktail for your guests. So we've got the perfect class for you. Angela Myers joining us this morning, and it's a fundraiser to boot, so that's awesome.
It is. It's for a great cause. The Miners Hall Museum in Franklin literally is one of these little treasure jewels that a lot of people don't know about, and they should. So we have thrown together a fundraiser that is a little bit of fun, a little educational, and it comes with a tour of the museum, so you can walk around and check the museum out, and it's all for a good cause.
Okay, so this is we're calling it Making Spirits Bright, a craft cocktail experience.
It is. So I'm all about learning something, and when my ticket or the cost to get in goes to a good cause, I'm always like, sign me up. So we did our own little twist on that. So people can buy a ticket for $20 on Eventbrite. There's a 6:30 or 7:30 class. They can show up, literally don't need a thing. Show up, they'll go station to station. We have 5 local celebrity bartenders. They'll learn how to make 5 drinks. They'll get a free sample at each station so they can try the cocktail. They'll leave with the recipe for the drink. We've also paired a snack that will go with each drink. They'll get to try that, and they'll leave with that recipe and a commemorative glass.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so who do you have on the celebrity checklist so far?
So we have Southeast Kansas bartender extraordinaire Bobby Gardulo. We have Mike Dewey and Tony Sanchez, who, if you've ever been to a PCT production, they're always either on stage, behind the scene, colorful personalities. We have Kathy Lina Weaver. She's a Pitt State alum, super fun lady. Random trivia, used to be a warden for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So
really?
Yeah. And has really cool stories and has such a bubbly personality. Like, she's a blast to talk to. I feel like every phone call with her turns into a 30-minute conversation because I learn something, I laugh about something. And we are really excited to have all those people. We're going to start featuring those on Facebook so you can see the bios. Each bartender will have a tip jar. So as you go station to station, tip the best bartender. All those proceeds also go back to the museum.
Nice.
But the bartender with the most tips gets a prize for being our best bartender.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
And you said you'd get a tour of the museum as well.
Right, so the museum's going to be open so that you can walk around, you can check out all the exhibits. They'll have their calendar events because they do great Sunday afternoon programming. They always have quarterly exhibits. I think this season it's all about Belgium and holiday traditions and recipes. So they always feature something unique. If you haven't been to the Miners Hall, it's whether the different aprons people wore in different roles in the community. They just got a big grant to build and move in a drag line and restore a drag line from Southeast Kansas. So they're really doing amazing things. It's one of those off the beaten path places that everybody should be required, in my opinion, to go to, because if you're not from here, you learn about Southeast Kansas. If you are from here, I have friends say, oh, my grandpa's such and such is on the wall there, or oh, we donated something. So it's keeping our local history alive, which is so important.
Yes. So if you would like to go to this event, do you need to sign up in advance, and how do you do that?
We are encouraging people to sign up in advance just because it gives us a good way to make sure we have enough samples for everybody. It's on Eventbrite, so if you go to eventbrite.com, or Facebook has the link as well. You can get online, hop on there for $20, buy your ticket. You can also call the museum. You can walk into the museum, which, oh darn, you get to look around and see the museum at the same time. So either way, we'll make sure we're even leaving ticket sales open to the day of. So you can be a last minute person and still make it happen.
There you go. And what a fun evening.
I think it will be. We've tried to craft some signature fundraisers, so this is kind of the kickstart to that. So please get on the Facebook page, like their Facebook page, because we're going to be announcing really cool fundraisers. We're trying to build ways to raise funds for the museum so they can continue to add programming and cool events, but at the same time, make it where people get something when they show up. So whether it's how to learn something, how to do something, we send you home with a parting gift. We're trying really hard to make it fun, but at the same time, hands-on and educational.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Thanks.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in, and I hope it's a wonderful cocktail experience.
We're
next
really
Friday.
excited
and
about
again,
it.
this is coming up on November 18th.
Yep, thank
All right,
you.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back. It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Specialist Andrew Snyder. The Cherryville, Kansas native served in Afghanistan as a part of the 226th Engineer Company. To Specialist Andrew Snyder, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
The latest season of The Crown, debuting today, brings the series into the 1990s as a new cast tackles a turbulent time for the UK's royal family, including the Charles and Diana divorce.
David Daniel has a look.
Have royal scandals damaged the country's reputation?
The House of Windsor should be binding the nation together, setting an example of idealized family life. It's a situation that cannot help but affect the stability of the country.
Season 5 of The Crown brings on Imelda Staunton and Jonathan Pryce as Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip as crises shake the royal family to its core.
It is a critique of the royal family, but a very subtle critique, and in a way that shows their humanity more than anything.
To be playing a couple who were, I think, luckily very much in love when they married, but also very much aware of the years and the job ahead.
You make a better person of me.
And you of me. Isn't that the point of marriage?
Less lucky in love, Charles and Diana, now played by Dominic West and Elizabeth Debicki, and Princess Margaret, now embodied by Leslie Manville.
Peter was my son. My water. And you denied me him. I denied you as queen, not as your sister. The conditions are irrelevant. The prohibition is what counts.
She is older and she's leading a quieter life, and she's devoting her time a lot more to supporting her sister. But she's undeniably in a lonely phase as well.
It's a system, for better or for worse. We're all stuck in it.
It feels it's all about to erupt.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
You're talking about your obsession with The Crown, and the thing is, the more I see, previews for it, because it's on Netflix.
I cannot believe you haven't watched any of it yet.
So my wife's very interested in the royal family. She loves the royals.
And she hasn't watched it either?
Royalty. Actually, I think she has been watching it. And so now I'm kind of tempted to watch it myself, because like I said, she loves anything that has to do with royalty, period. Not just the royal family. If it has to do with kings, queens, princes, and princesses, she finds those stories very interesting. So it's something I'm going to have to check out.
I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it looks like they've done a phenomenal job. So definitely check it out if you haven't, because I think I'm going to have to now. And we'll be right back with more of the KOAM Morning News. But first, let's take a live look at the praying hands in Webb City.
4 States' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28, almost 7:29. We start with the Kansas governor's race with election results where Democratic Governor Laura Kelly is seeking re-election against the current Attorney General Derek Schmidt. Kelly was the only Democratic governor running for re-election this year in a state carried by former President Donald Trump in 2020. This race was a close one, but Kelly wins her bid for re-election. Associate Press projects Republican U.S. Senator Jerry Moran winning re-election, defeating Democratic challenger Mark Holland. And in the race for Kansas Attorney General, former Republican Secretary of State Chris Kobach defeats his Democratic opponent, Chris Mann. In the Kansas 2nd District congressional race, Republican incumbent Jake LaTurner defeats his Democratic challenger, Patrick Schmidt. Missouri's U.S. Senate race, Republican Attorney General Eric Schmidt defeats Democrat Trudy Busch Valentine. And in the U.S. House race for Missouri District number 4, former Kansas City News anchor Republican Mark Alford defeats Democrat Jack Truman. In the race for Missouri's 7th District seat, the seat formerly held by Billy Long, Republican Eric Burleson defeats the Democratic candidate Kristen Radiker Schaefer. And Missouri voters considered some state questions yesterday. One big one, the constitutional amendment to allow recreational marijuana for people over the age of 21. Over 53% of Missouri voters voted to approve recreational marijuana for the state. Another Missouri amendment would make the state National Guard its own department. 60% of the state voted to approve making the National Guard its own department. And turning to Oklahoma now, incumbent Republican Governor Kevin Stitt wins re-election over Democratic candidate and educator Joy Hoffmeister. 2 U.S. Senate races appeared on Oklahoma ballots. One, incumbent Senator Republican James Langford defeats Democratic challenger Madison Horn. And Oklahoma's other U.S. Senate race was a special election to fill the rest of the term of retiring Republican Jim Inhofe. Both major party candidates are currently serving in the U.S. House. Republican Markwayne Mullen defeats Democrat Kendra Horn. And the midterm elections are finally over, but it was one for the record books for Jasper County in particular. Out of 81,907 registered voters in Jasper County, 34,903 ballots were cast. That means 42.67% voted. It was the 3rd largest turnout for a November election ever in Jasper County. Despite the large numbers, voting went smoothly, and County Clerk Charlie Davis gives his staff the credit.
I give my staff great credit. They've done a very good job. The poll workers performed very well. Things went very smoothly in the light of new election laws that were passed in Missouri.
Davis went on to say more than 200 people worked the polls this year for Jasper County. You can head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for all of the 4-state election results. Well, a World War II soldier is coming home to southeast Kansas at last. Air Force Staff Sergeant David Holman of La Harpe, Kansas, was captured and died as a Japanese prisoner of war during World War II. The federal government announced his remains were identified this past August, but his family just recently received the full briefing. Holman will be buried April 23rd next spring in Independence, Kansas. And a festive time at Crowder College for its 20th annual Festival of Wreaths event. Festival started as a live auction of 30 to 40 wreaths and swags, and this year there's much more, including gift baskets and apparel, trips, electronics, and household items.
It's just a fun event. You get you in the holiday spirit early. So many people on campus love this event. It's been, like I said, it's been 20 years, so people in the community love to come to this. So it's just an exciting time to get you ready for the holidays.
Proceeds from the festival benefit scholarships and school programs. Well, students at Pittsburgh High School are putting the final touches on their newest theater presentation, Big Fish. The musical is based on a celebrated novel by Daniel Wallace.
I really like, in this show in particular, there's been 2 shows in high school that I really like being ensemble, and this is one of them, because the leads, they only get to do a few things, and I am constantly running backstage, working with all my other castmates, doing 100 different things, which I think is really fun.
Tickets can be purchased online, $5 for students and $10 for adults. Stick around. Coming up later in the show, we've got a couple of the cast members of Big Fish in studio to tell us more about the big production.
Yes, we do. They're here right now.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, this morning we're discussing if you feel your vote matters or not.
Democrats held on to a sizable number of governor races that were hotly contested. Josh Shapiro is projected to win Pennsylvania. Governor Tony Evers projected to win in Wisconsin, while Governor Gretchen Whitmer projected to win in Michigan, and Governor Kathy Hochul in New York, and of course, Governor Laura Kelly in Kansas.
Yes, that's right. But Republicans held on to longtime strongholds. Governor Greg Abbott is projected to win his bid for re-election in Texas, while Governor Brian Kemp is projected to beat Stacey Abrams, and Governor Ron DeSantis is projected to secure re-election in Florida. And of course, the one we're watching here, Republican Governor Kevin Stitt, wins re-election in Oklahoma as well.
That brings us to our question to you. Do you feel like your vote matters? Now, this is turned the wrong way, I feel. 34% of you say yes, 66% of you say no.
Stark change from our early viewers this morning, yeah.
But just a reminder, you know, there are plenty of examples in history where it's been very apparent that one vote has made all the difference. So, in my opinion, vote matters. You always need to get out there and vote. But make sure you vote in this poll at least at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Take part in discussion on our Facebook page. We are watching some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. We may have an isolated stray shower or two today. Otherwise, we are dry with partly to mostly cloudy skies and quite mild. By tomorrow morning, we're looking at the cold front knocking on our back door. And by 5, we've got a good line of showers and thunderstorms extending through southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma. By 8, that line races eastward. And then it hangs out for just a little bit. As you can see, by 11:30, we've still got some showers and thunderstorms to contend with, and then maybe a little more shower and thunderstorm activity very early Friday morning. But look at the temperatures behind the front. Cold. All right. We do have a low-end, strong to severe thunderstorm threat for tomorrow for the green highlighted area. This is a pretty low risk, but it is there. And if we were to see any strong storms, wind and hail are the primary threats, and we're looking at 4 to 11 as the timing on any stronger storms tomorrow. 7th and range line looks really good right now, but we're seeing those increasing clouds, and that's how it'll be through today. Mostly, partly, mostly cloudy. 64 south-southeast wind at 13. Temperature across the area also quite mild. 64 Neodesha Parsons, 65 Chanute, 59 Fort Scott, 60 in Nevada. As we go through today, it's a very mild day with maybe that stray shower or two. 76 for the high. The clouds start to clear out late tonight into tomorrow morning. We drop back down to a low of 63. After that cold front comes through on Thursday, we go from 72 to 36. 40s Friday and Saturday with lows in the 20s. 50s Sunday and Monday with lows right around freezing. And because of that, could see some stray showers Monday evening, which could translate into some early morning flurries by Tuesday morning. No crazy snow accumulations or anything, but maybe a flurry or two. And then we're only 42 on Tuesday. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this with the Pittsburgh High School Theater in the studio. Talk about big fish. And here's another look at that live shot of the praying hands. And well, it's getting them. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's theater season, and in studio with us we have 2 actors from Pittsburgh High School. They're going to talk about their latest production, Big Fish. So we're just discussing, obviously it's a book. I've seen the movie many moons ago, but now you're making it into a musical. So first, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. So tell me a little bit about the production and turning this into a musical. What was the inspiration for this?
Well, personally, I first heard about the show my sophomore year, and then we found out that Brianna Clark was coming to be our new theater director, and then I kind of pestered her to do the show. I'll be honest, and then it happened, and then everything kind of worked out because the cast is kind of perfect for it.
Well, and of course, pestering, the best way to get something done these days. So if you just keep bothering them about it, they'll eventually just give in because they don't want to be pestered anymore. But this is a great production to be, pestering somebody about to get it on. So what are your roles and what exactly are you going to be doing in the production?
Well, I play Edward Bloom, who is the father, and he tells these big mythical tales that are, not exactly true, but...
And I play Sandra Bloom, who is the wife of Edward and the mother to Will, our son, obviously, who also is a big elemental role in this show, looking for the truthful side of those mythic tales.
So give me a little detail on the tales that he's trying to track down. What is he looking for?
Well, he's looking for the truth because, every tale has a little bit of realism to it, but Edward likes to exaggerate the truth. So like, for example, he meets a friend named Carl, who is just a giant. He's like 7 foot tall. He's a giant, but he is also very intelligent, And all these tales have a different side to them, Not all of them are, just the most basic levels.
How exciting is it for you guys to be able to, put this together and put this on, especially for you, like with all the pestering that you did to actually make this become a reality?
It is just like absolutely amazing to do this production. Miss Clark and all of the actors have really put every amount of work possible into this thing. And from an actor's standpoint and from a friend standpoint, it has been absolutely amazing to get to watch Ben portray one of his dream roles.
Yeah.
It is really like a dream come true, and like every audience member that comes to see the show will absolutely fall in love with Edward.
And with Sandra.
So we're almost out of time, so just real quick, little details on performance nights and ticket information.
So our show is November 10th through 12th at 7 p.m. at the PHS Auditorium. Tickets are $5 for students and seniors and $10 for everybody else. Kind of get stuck with the bad deal. Audiences will love this show. There's something for everyone.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming in this morning, and make sure you check it out. And if you by any chance missed what they just said, don't worry. We'll have all this information at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's theater season, and in studio with us we have two actors from Pittsburgh High School. They're going to talk about their latest production, Big Fish. So we're just discussing, obviously it's a book. I've seen the movie many moons ago, but now you're making it into a musical. So first, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. So tell me a little bit about the production and turning this into a musical. What was the inspiration for this?
Well, personally, I first heard about the show my sophomore year, and then we found out that Brianna Clark was coming to be our new theater director, and I kind of pestered her to do the show. I'll be honest, and then it happened, and then everything kind of worked out because the cast is kind of perfect for it.
Well, and of course, pestering, the best way to get something done these
Truly.
days. So if you just keep bothering them about it, they'll eventually just give in because they don't want to be pestered anymore. But this is a great production to be, pestering somebody about to get it on. So what are your roles and what exactly are you going to be doing in the production?
Well, I play Edward Bloom, who is the father, and he tells these big mythical tales that are, not exactly true, but...
And I play Sandra Bloom, who is the wife of Edward and the mother to Will, our son, obviously, who also is a big elemental role in this show, looking for the truthful side of those mythic tales.
Yeah, so give me a little detail on the tales that he's trying to track down. What is he looking for?
Well, he's looking for the truth because, every tale has a little bit of realism to it, but Edward likes to exaggerate the truth. So like, for example, he meets a friend named Carl who is just a giant. He's like 7 foot tall. He's a giant, but he is also very intelligent, and all these tales have a different side to them. Not all of them are just the most basic levels.
How exciting is it for you guys to be able to, put this together and put this on, especially for you, like with all the pestering that you did to actually make this become a reality?
It is just like absolutely amazing to do this production. Miss Clark and all of the actors have really put every amount of work possible into this thing. And from an actor's standpoint and from a friend standpoint, it has been absolutely amazing to get to watch Ben portray one of his dream roles.
Yeah.
It is really like a dream come true, and like every audience member that comes to see the show will absolutely fall in love with Edward.
And with Sandra.
So we're almost out of time, so just real quick, little details on performance nights and ticket information.
So our show is November 10th through 12th at 7 p.m. at the PHS Auditorium. Tickets are $5 for students and seniors and $10 for everybody else. Kind of get stuck with the bad deal. Audiences will love this show. There's something for everyone.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming in this morning, and make sure you check it out. And if you by any chance missed what they just said, don't worry. We'll have all this information at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, it's me, your vacation. We're gonna need a Christmas miracle to have fun here. Let's go somewhere that really puts the joy in joyful, with a gingerbread village and a magical train ride. This year, we'll ditch the pull-out sofa and spend Christmas in Branson.
Race into Westco early because we're getting revved up for Black November savings, and the winning deals are already speeding through. Like Lane Rocker Recliners starting at $299 and Ashley Chofas for just $749. Find powered reclining comfort from Franklin and awesome area rug and holiday decor deals. Plus, don't miss big in-store drawings where everybody wins. And pay no interest until 2026. Get to the starting line because we're revving up all month for Black November, only at Westco.
At Harry Cooper Supply, we have unique lighting for every room. Whether building new or just updating, see the latest styles and functionality to create that one-of-a-kind look. Visit our Galleria showrooms in Springfield or Joplin. You're sure to find something to brighten your home.
Does your business suffer from digital marketing dysfunction? Are you having a hard time getting your online engagement up? Ask your local KOAM marketing team how you can go from digital dysfunction to digital success. KOAM can prescribe you the best digital services for your specific needs. Side effects include tens of thousands of views, getting your website traffic up, and more. Contact KOAM Marketing today.
This is no time to be out of touch with the Skywatch 7 weather team. Point your smartphone at our QR code, snap a picture, and you're ready to download a weather station to go wherever you go. Get the Skywatch weather app today.
Hey, it's me, your vacation. So what are you getting me this year? I don't want much. Just a billion twinkling lights, sky-high Christmas trees, ice skating, parades, scenic train rides. I want trails and lights, a whole trail of lights. Save the milk and cookies and give me Branson.
All right, so we have got some big changes in the forecast on the way. Right now, though, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear. We're watching our next storm system out to the west, and it'll be making its way in here by tomorrow afternoon, and we can take a look at it on the future track. Stray shower or two is possible today. I think the majority of us are going to stay dry with partly to mostly cloudy skies and quite mild. By tomorrow morning, cold front knocking on our back door. By 5 o'clock, we get a good line of showers and storms across the area in southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma, and it continues to roll on off to the east by through 8 o'clock, and it slows down a little bit, so by 11:30 on the Missouri side, we could still be looking at some additional showers and thunderstorms, and then a brief break, and as you can see, some redevelopment tries to take place of maybe a shower or rumble of thunder by very early on Friday morning, and then the temperatures will really drop. There's a low-end risk of a strong to possibly severe storm tomorrow. The risk overall is pretty low, but it's there, and if we see anything, wind and hail would be the primary threat, and we're looking at 4 to 11 as the timing for any of the stronger storms. Clouds building in Joplin right now, 64, partly cloudy skies, south-southeast wind at 13. It'll be gusting upwards of 20-25 later today. 63 Yates Center, 64 Iola, 59 Fort Scott, 58 Miami, and 61 in Neosho. As we go through the rest of the day, a very mild day, 76 for the high with that stray shower or two dropping into tonight. Clouds will start to clear out early tomorrow morning with a low of 63. And once the cold front gets through, we're 72 tomorrow, 36 for the low, 40s Friday and Saturday with 20s, and then 50 Sunday and Monday with 30s for overnight lows. And because of the freezing temperature, some showers Monday evening could turn into a few flurries by Tuesday morning with a high of 42. Let's check out your forecast. Now, here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
That's right. Mixed economic news for the house that Mickey built. Disney says it added more than 12 million new subscribers to its streaming service in the fourth quarter and now has more than 160 million subscribers worldwide. But its streaming service is not yet profitable. It lost $1.5 billion during the quarter. Disney's fourth quarter earnings sent the company's stock tumbling about 10% on Tuesday. But Disney remains optimistic, especially when it comes to its upcoming movie releases. The next Black Panther and Avatar films are expected to be major blockbusters this year. Elon Musk is selling more of his Tesla stock. The government reports Musk has sold nearly $4 billion worth of Tesla stock since he bought Twitter. Musk bought the social media company October 27th, and the Securities and Exchange Commission reported Tuesday night he waited until November 4th to start selling more of his Tesla shares. Musk sold blocks of Tesla shares totaling more than $15 billion earlier this year. It's unclear if the money Musk has raised went towards buying Twitter or to support losses at the company. Musk recently revealed Twitter is hemorrhaging money since his takeover because of a growing number of companies have stopped advertising on the platform. Well, that blue check mark on Twitter, yesterday's news, meet the gray check mark. Social media platform announced a new form of verification on Tuesday. Look under the Twitter handle and you'll see a gray check followed by the word official. That gray check will be assigned to government accounts, commercial companies, major media outlets, and some public figures. Think of it as a replacement for the blue check, which used to signify a verified account. And now that anyone who pays $8 a month can get one, the blue check has lost much of its original meaning. Gray checks cannot be purchased, no word on when they will officially roll out. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Philadelphia has a new legend, a guy who goes by the name Chicken Man, because he was anything but chicken when it came to eating entire birds.
I certainly hope they weren't live. Jeannie Moose reports.
A guy who eats a chicken a day for 40 days deserves a chant. Eat that chicken! Eat that chicken! You'd look fed up too if you were feeding yourself an entire rotisserie chicken every day. Philadelphia resident Alexander Tominski documented his feat right down to the bones. The Philadelphia Phillies may have lost the World Series,
but Chicken Man really brought it home.
His fame grew online, and by the time leaflets appeared announcing he'd eat his 40th chicken on an abandoned pier, no wonder a crowd showed up. Chicken Man told the New York Times he lost 16 pounds over those 40 days. He got so sick of chicken he started chewing it into pieces, then washing it down. Basically, I drank the chicken. The guy who shot this video described Chicken Man's technique.
Massaging the meat, fingering it, if you will, to make it easier to consume.
When bones were picked clean, Chicken Man held them up triumphantly, occasionally tossing them to the crowd. He even sang along to Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia.
It's just you and me, my friend!
As he polished off the last bite, and then he hoisted the empty plate like an Olympic medal. Fans may say Chicken Man for president, but Chicken Man himself told the Times, "I'm happy that it's over. My body is ready to repair." For some Philadelphians,
it was as momentous and epic
as Rockies run up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum. Though rocky is how Chicken Man's digestive system must have felt. Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
That is quite amazing.
That is an absolutely fascinating feat.
I'm curious if he gave himself any rules, or did he just, he had to eat the chicken whole, or could he, break it up throughout the day, as long as he ate one every day?
Well, I mean, based on the video, I think he's eating it in one sitting.
Start with that rotisserie, and you could fry some with some eggs for breakfast, you make some sandwiches out of it for lunch, and then, there's ways to mix it up.
I mean,
as long as it all came from that one rotisserie.
I enjoy a good rotisserie chicken every so often, but I don't know that I could do it for 40 days straight.
I know, and my whole family eats off of one.
That would be, that'd be a little intense. That's a lot of chicken. Yeah. We're tracking some thunderstorm chances tomorrow. We're going to take a look at your forecast when we come back. Before we go to break, here's the live shot from Webb City.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Voting closed in the midterm elections with control of Congress hanging in the balance. Both sides scored victories, including Democrat John Fetterman, who is projected to win Pennsylvania's open Senate seat, and Republican J.D. Vance, who is the projected winner in Ohio's Senate race. But other key races are still too close to call. Florida is preparing for Tropical Storm Nicole, which is expected to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane before making landfall late Wednesday or early Thursday. Many areas are still recovering from damage caused by Hurricane Ian in September. And someone has won the record $2 billion Powerball jackpot. The winning ticket was sold in Southern California. The drawing was delayed until Tuesday because of a data processing problem.
We could see a stray shower or two across the area today, otherwise partly to mostly to partly cloudy skies with very mild temperatures of 76 for the high. Staying mild this evening, clouds will start to clear out by early morning, 63 for the low. And then we have a cold front coming in tomorrow, 72, showers and thunderstorms likely in the evening. A few of those could be on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And we drop way down, 36 for the low, 40s on Friday and Saturday, 50 Sunday and Monday, and maybe a stray flurry or two Tuesday morning.
Well, a cute new addition to the Dallas Zoo. A hippopotamus calf was born October 30th.
The little one started swimming and nursing quickly after birth, and the zoo says both baby and mom are doing well. Who doesn't like a good, baby hippo? It's crazy how big they can get.
I was watching a lot of hippo videos the other day, just hippos eating pumpkins. Hippos crushing pumpkins in their mouth. That one's so cute.
Hippos are pretty cool.
Oh, he's tired.
He is.
Too tired
he
to
feels
move.
about. I feel him. I feel him right now. Nice bed of straw on a sunny day. It's a good place to be, I think.
Oh,
he's very
you could
cute,
just watch that video. Mama hippos are not safe to be around.
No, they're not. They're very protective.
Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.